Hey, I'm Jusko from ProbableMoney.com. In this video, we are going to look at some good new secured cards that have come out over the last couple months from Capital One, from US Bank, from Bank of America. But first, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not already. And if you have already, I thank you for doing so. So if you are looking to rebuild credit or get a credit card for the first time, and maybe you're having trouble doing so, the secured card market is a place to look. Now, the downside to the secured card market is the fact that you have to put down a refundable security deposit in order to get a credit card, which obviously is not ideal. But the good news is that secured cards in general have gotten a lot better, especially over the last year and a half or so. It used to be kind of a dreary affair. You'd put down the security deposit just to get a credit card that had no rewards, and then it would have an extra annual fee with a high interest rate and all this bad stuff, basically just to try to build or rebuild your credit. Now, a lot of these secured cards on the market are essentially the same as the unsecured cards out there in terms of the rewards they offer and some of their other features. You just have to put that security deposit down. So some of these new cards that we're going to talk about in this video from Capital One, US Bank, and Bank of America fit that mold, and these cards are doing, or at least some of them are doing, a little bit better job of talking about the possibility of graduating to an unsecured card from that secured card, meaning they'll give you that security deposit back and then you'll be able to use the card just as anybody else does in an unsecured fashion. All right, let's start with Capital One, which has recently added a second secured credit card to its lineup, that being a secured Quicksilver rewards card, which in many ways is very similar to the unsecured version. In this version, yes, you have to put down a refundable security deposit of at least $200. However much you put down as a security deposit is going to become the credit limit on that card, although you're not going to pay for your purchases with that security deposit. You're going to pay from other money, so that security deposit stays off to the side there in reserve. Anyway, no annual fee, otherwise 1.5% cash back on all of your purchases. Now, you're not going to have a new cardholder bonus opportunity like you would with the unsecured Quicksilver card, and you're going to have a little higher interest rate at 26.99%, at least as I make this video. But if you pay off your credit card in full every month, as you should, that interest rate is not going to come into play. Now, Capital One has become a little more clear on their secured card pages about the chance of graduating from the secured card to the unsecured card. In a section that talks about the refundable security deposits and potential upgrades, it does make clear that Capital One is going to be looking at your performance with this card, your on-time payments, that sort of thing, and that you could graduate to the unsecured Capital One Quicksilver card, which means they would take your security deposit and give it back to you as a statement credit on your card, which means you could then use it for purchases with the card in the future, and then you would just go on having the Capital One Quicksilver card in an unsecured fashion from that point forward. So it used to be sometimes with Capital One they would be a little wishy-washy. There was a time period where people were saying they were not graduating people at all from secured to unsecured, making them go through a whole new application process without any guarantee that they would actually be approved when they went after the new card. Now Capital One saying that yes, we are going to be looking at your performance here with this card, and you may be graduated to that unsecured version of the Quicksilver card. That is true of the secured Capital One Platinum card as well. Before we look at the other banks, just a quick word on those security deposits. They are refundable. They are your money. As long as you pay your balances down to zero on those credit cards, you're eventually going to get that money back. You'll either get it back when your card is graduated to an unsecured card. You might get it as a check, or you might get it as a statement credit, like I just said with the Capital One card. Or if you just decide you don't want your secured card anymore, as long as you're down to a zero balance, they will send your money back to you. Maybe not quite as fast as you would hope for, but you will eventually get that security deposit back. It is not a fee. Now let's look at the two new secured cards from US Bank. Like that Capital One secured Quicksilver card, these are secured versions of existing unsecured cards that US Bank already offers. Two very good cashback cards from US Bank. So you have the US Bank Altitude Go secured Visa. You have the US Bank Cash Plus secured Visa. The Altitude Go card, yes, you have that refundable security deposit, but no annual fee. Otherwise, in terms of rewards, you're getting 4% back on dining. You're getting 2% back at gas stations, at grocery stores, and on streaming services, 1% everywhere else. There is not a new card holder bonus opportunity like there would be with the unsecured card, and it does have a little higher interest rate at 25.99%. The US Bank Cash Plus secured Visa is also going to have no annual fee. You're going to have the refundable security deposit, but no annual fee. Otherwise, in terms of rewards, that's giving you 5% cash back in 2 purchasing categories. There is a list of categories where you can choose to get that 5%, and then you will also get 2% back in 1 other category out of gas, groceries, and dining, 1% on any other purchases you make with that card. Again, no new card holder bonus there, and you're going to have that same 25.99% interest rate, but as long as you're paying your cards off in full each month, you're not going to have to worry about that interest rate. So again, these are cards that are pretty much the same as the unsecured version, and US Bank tells you on their website that they are going to be periodically looking at your account, and if things look good, if you are making your payments on time and they are sort of happy with your progress here and probably with your progress overall on your credit report, as long as everything's good with other cards or loans you might have, well then you could be graduated to the unsecured version of these cards, which essentially just means you're going to get that security deposit back and you'll just go on with your life now having the unsecured version of one of these very good cashback cards from US Bank. And then Bank of America recently launched a secured version of its unlimited cash rewards card, kind of the same deal as the Quicksilver card. You got the refundable security deposit, you don't have an annual fee. It is a 1.5% cashback card across the board. The interest rate on this 23.99%, but again, you pay your bills in full. You don't have to worry about that interest rate at all. Now, a shout out sort of here to Bank of America, because in my mind, Bank of America, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago or 2 years ago now, they kind of pushed the secured card industry forward a little bit. There weren't that many cards out there that were secured cards that did not have an annual fee. So it used to be you'd put that refundable security deposit down, but then you'd have an annual fee on top of that, and you didn't get that annual fee back. So you might be paying 30, 40, 50 bucks per year in order to hold the card on top of having to put that security deposit down that's going to sit there at the bank until you don't have the card anymore. So Bank of America took away the annual fee a couple years ago, I think, on their standard Bank Americard secured card version, and then it seemed like some of the other banks kind of took that as a cue. There were some other ones out there that didn't have annual fees, but that in particular seemed like it had a little bit of a domino effect on other secured cards in the market. So, you know, kudos to Bank of America on that. So yeah, the secured card market in general has improved, and these 4 cards I just talked about are good examples of that. I think if you are someone that is trying to rebuild your credit, or if you're trying to build credit for the first time and you can't get approved for an unsecured card, going with the secured card route, especially these days, is a lot better than going after one of those sort of fee harvester unsecured cards from these smaller banks that are going to charge you a lot of money that you're not going to get back in order to get a credit line that might only be 200 or 300 bucks. So in this case, yeah, stinks to put down a security deposit and have the bank just sort of holding on to your money, but at the same time, if you play your cards right, and especially if they manage to graduate you in a shorter period of time, well then where you end up is you are with a big bank, oftentimes with a good credit card that you might have wanted anyways, and you don't have to reapply in order to get that card and wonder if you're going to get approved, and you don't have to pay all those fees to some smaller bank that is really trying to make their profit off of the fact that you have bad credit or no credit history. So I think these are good additions, and I would go the secured card route if I was in this position before I would go after one of those cards. It would be nice if these banks gave a little more information in terms of how long it might be. Now, some banks will tell you after 6 months or after 8 months or after 10 months, we're going to start looking, and that's when we might make that decision to graduate you to an unsecured card. These cards don't give you a specific time frame, and it would be nice if they did. But still, in my mind, a better option than going after one of those cards that really is targeting sort of that bad credit customer that they see as somewhat desperate. So I would love to hear your thoughts on the matter. Put them in that comment section below. Otherwise, I thank you for watching, and as always, please go to proudmoney.com, where we do credit card reviews. We talk personal finance, we talk deals, and all sorts of other fun stuff too. Thank you for watching. Bye.